What is up, YouTubes? Mountain Man Magic, and we have a really fun mono black deck tech here for you that uses a lot of cards from other deck tech videos, so it's not that expensive to craft. There's more competitive mono black decks out there, but to me, this is the one that's really fun to play. Also, I just happen to keep pulling Ayaras in booster packs, and I got my playset on Arena really quickly. I want to make a fun deck that just kind of plays with cards I enjoy playing with in Standard. So let's get into the actual deck. Yes, we have the Cauldron Familiar combo, which is oven. You take a cat, you throw it in the oven, it comes back, I guess. But really the deck revolves around Ayara, and it's really good in the sense that it's mono black, so you don't have to worry about mana, and every creature we bring into play is going to trigger her ability. She also helps us not run out of gas, which is great, so we have a lot of cheap creatures. Cauldron Familiars, Gutter Bones, Lazotep Reaper, because that's kind of a 2-for-1, which is really good in this deck. Orzhov Enforcer as a Death Toucher and give us a flying body if we need it for whatever reason. Priest of the Forgotten Gods, again, a personal favorite. Really big fan of this card, and it gives us a lot of value. Midnight Reaper to help us keep drawing cards. Murderous Rider to take care of planeswalkers or creatures. And Bolas' Citadel. This is where the spice comes in, because if we get to the point where we can drop this, we're probably going to have enough life or life gain where we can just play out non-stop stuff. That's going to trigger Ayara to then ping our opponent down a lot, and if they're within 10 of dying, we can just sack all the things we just played for basically free and close the game out. So it's pretty nice. Castle Lochthwain as well is good there for card draw. That's pretty much it. It's pretty simple. I've just had a lot of fun playing this deck. It just destroys aggro because no one can keep up with the life gain and the board presence you can keep out there. It does okay against control. You don't run out of gas. You have enough cheap threats that you can keep playing stuff if they have a counter or two. And it recovers decently well against board wipes, mostly from the Cauldron Familiars, and Midnight Reapers help us not run out of gas. It's a really fun deck, so let's get into the actual gameplay. And our first matchup, we have Mono Red, which I'm really not upset about, because this deck does really, really well in this matchup. Now granted, if they get Cavalcade down and they have some nice draws and we can't deal with their flyer, that could be a problem. But them trading basically card for card here, or one card for half of a card for us, I'm happy to make that trade 100 times out of 100. Why I don't block with the token here, I'm not entirely sure. Probably just because Gutter Bones can recur, so whatever. Now we can play Ayara out, but I'm chewing on playing Ayara or just a Priest, because I think Priest will draw the removal spell just as well. And Ayara, because we don't have another one in our hand, is probably more valuable. So we can take our time. We're not in any rush. We're going to be just fine. They cleverly use the whole Grimrock Giant adventure thing so they don't lose it if they don't play it this turn. And now we're just kind of chewing on who do we block with. Why do I block with the token? I have no idea. Should have just blocked with the Priest because they're probably going to remove it. Maybe they had a combat trick, like another Rimrock Knight. Whatever. We're still fine. I think in this matchup, with our hand, we're so far ahead they don't even know it. Being able to get that back on top, Lazotep Reaper is a huge, huge play for us. Getting 2 bodies out of 1 and it triggering Ayara is very beneficial. We're not going to block because any chance of us losing Ayara right now is no bueno. Taking 3 damage is just fine. It's also really nice that they're down to 1 card in hand, so that's very reassuring that we are in a good spot. And at this point, the game's pretty much won. We haven't even played a creature yet, and we're ahead. I'm not trying to say I'm a pro player in Magic, but at this point, I feel very confident saying there's literally nothing they could draw or do that would win them this game. And yeah, Ayara's fine. They want to shock something or get rid of it. We can use Ayara to draw cards. If they want to get rid of Ayara, we could use it to make them have to sacrifice creatures. Stuff's just going really well for us. And at this point, we could, even if we get a little flooded, we got Bolas' Citadel. We don't need both of them. That's definitely not a great place to be. But at this point, yeah, they give up. Moving on to game number 2. I'm not in love with this hand, but if we get to our 3rd land and can play Ayara on curve, I'll be much happier with it. So we play Gutter Bones. Who doesn't like Gutter Bones turn 1? They play Once Upon a Time. I'm thinking, oh no, this is Oko. But then I see the adventure guy and think maybe it's not Oko. And I don't have to be that concerned. When they play this blocker, okay, it's just an adventure deck. All should be well, as long as they don't curve out super well. Also, them playing a creature that can't block is pretty beneficial for us. Having to use Murderous Rider just to remove a creature is nice with the board presence we currently have. We can play a second Ayara, which is also just extremely convenient. Gutter Bones. And at this point, they're in a really, really tough spot because they need to get a board presence as well as remove ours, although playing Legion's End and then Edgewall Innkeeper is kind of what they needed. It's pretty ideal, although we have a decent draw. Get two spells to play, 3 total creatures. And at this point, I think they're so far behind that they can't catch up. And they agree, and they concede. Our third matchup, I keep a questionable hand because I don't know what they're playing, and I figure why not? If we can get Bolas' Citadel down, we should probably just win anyway. So we're a little flooded. I'm not stoked. Thankfully, we draw a creature here so that we can use Priest of the Forgotten Gods. Because I'm pretty sure I want to get rid of Hero here. I don't want them building out a wide board. I have no idea what shenanigans they could have planned, although if it's Esper, chances are they're just playing Teferi next turn. But it also gets us to draw a card. Yeah, we'll just kind of wait and see what happens. Once they play the third land, it's like Teferi, not surprising. I'm surprised they don't bounce anything, but then again, that's because we would just attack him and then he dies, and that's probably not what they want. And here, I think about attacking with each, but I'm like, no, I should keep Priest up just in case. Be super scary and intimidating. And I'm just not sure with our opponent, if they Kaya's Wrath, how we're going to recover here. We have enough land to get down Bolas' Citadel, so maybe if they stumble, we can get it down and then we'll be fine. Thankfully, they miss a land drop, and at this point, I feel like they're really going to have a hard time catching up, because now if they board wipe, we can go land Bolas' Citadel, all is well. Them mortifying our Ayara is not ideal, but we'll manage. We will find a way to overcome. Thought Erasure is just very unfortunate. It's very... I don't like that card. Not because it's a bad card, but it does mean things. Thankfully, we draw Midnight Reaper. We find an oven, so now the cat is going to be a problem for them because it's going to, one, help us keep drawing cards with Midnight Reaper, as well as just pinging them down. And I hit Teferi there so that they can't bounce anything, because I just don't want to have to deal with that. They play this guy, draws them some land, draws them a card, sure. We'll sack our cat, bring it back, doing all kinds of fun stuff. And then I think about using the Priest, but I don't want to here because I want to keep Midnight Reaper around. And we just drew a creature. So from here on out, it's pretty much just trying to balance between doing damage and sacking creatures, but also not completely losing our refuel options, which is basically keeping Midnight Reaper alive. And at that point, I throw him the good game. Okay, and why not? Let's do another game. We're jumping into this one. It's another mono red, Cavalcade of Calamity, Chandra's Spitfire, all kinds of cheeky shenanigans, lots of damage type of deck. Thankfully, we had Epic Downfall in this version of the deck, and we exile that, so that wasn't fun for them. Another reason that I want to show this is I think we get Bolas' Citadel down and just go crazy with it, Witch's Oven providing some value there where we can get some food. That just gives us some life buffer to make sure that we can do more fun things. Again, I just like the oven. I know the cat interaction with it is a little annoying, but in this instance, it's really just getting us food tokens, which should buy us time. And that's all we need, because once we get Bolas' Citadel down, we're going to be doing all kinds of fun things. Unfortunately, I just can't hit my 6th land. Never mind. There it is. Let's go crazy. As long as I don't go down too low, I should be fine, because they only have Torbrand in hand, as well as that little Planeswalker that will prevent us from gaining life. So that is somewhat concerning, because if they play Tibalt next turn, we might be in trouble if we don't have decent draws here. They play Tibalt, they make the Devil token, which I'm honestly not sure if that's the best move, just because it loses him loyalty. And at this point, we just want to get him as low as possible, because once Tibalt's gone and out of the picture, we can gain life. I'm not sure why they block Lazotep Reaper here, because they could have blocked the token and then hit Gutter Bones, and that's far more effective at keeping Tibalt alive, but maybe they just don't realize that with Bolas' Citadel down, that we're going to win unless they have some type of board presence around. So now, anyway, Tibalt's gone, we can gain life, we're going to draw and play whatever comes our way. We get a land, great. It gets us Lazotep Reaper, because since it's on the top of our library, we can play it for free, which means we're about to play 2 Lazotep Reapers, and now we have a board that's just too wide for them to deal with. Even with Torbrand out there, not worried about it, because he's going to get an Epic Downfall as soon as he hits the board. Here's Ayara, and I'm like, do I play the other one and just gain a life? Probably not. We'll just pass and say go. See what they draw. I don't think there's any deal 11 damage spells, so we should be good. Even if it's something crazy, we can use both of our ovens, sack a creature, sack the food. Life's good. I love this deck against aggro because of how quickly it can build out a board, how we never run out of gas, and how we're able to absorb any damage with all the life gain that Ayara and the cats and the food tokens provide us. and for some reason I'm taking forever to figure out that I need to just sacrifice Ayara, sacrifice the food, draw another Ayara, because why not? It's already on top of the library. We knew it was there from the Citadel. There's a second Citadel there. We're not stoked about it, but it doesn't matter because our opponent concedes. Look, they're done. All right, that was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to my patrons. Thank you to Card Kingdom for sponsoring the channel. If you want to buy any of these cards, build this deck in paper, check out the website, deck list below in the description. Thank you again so much. Can't say it enough. Ooh, and we even got the upgraded Fox. Very cool. All right, we'll see you in the next video. Take it easy. Peace.